And here we are, another episode of Why So Sidious a Nerd podcast. And now we're here, ready to take on. We wanted to drop this as soon as we could, like right after that finale dropped. We were like, let's get this episode out. So here we are. We're here to cover Ironheart Season 1. Just finished up like yesterday or a couple of months back or something like that. I don't recall, but we're covering it. We're here to bring our thoughts. Some pretty big stuff actually happened in this. I think all of us were kind of surprised at the reaction to this series. I think none of us were really excited for it, and I think it kind of caught our attention more than we were really expecting. We're going to dive into that. As always, make sure you're checking us out. I know we've been a little slow on the episode releases lately, get off our back about it, but we are coming in hot. We got this episode coming. We've got our top 5 MCU movies. We're dropping that soon, and that's been building up for a while, so stay tuned to find out which ones made our top 5 all-time MCU movies. We've got a jam-packed Week in Geek coming up. And we got plenty more. A lot of stuff is coming around the bend. We got Peacemaker. Season 2 is dropping in a few days here. We've got a good amount of stuff to be jumping into and some creatives. We're going to do a fun little kind of, we did a roadmap, if you have been listening to us for long enough, about the DCU before it kicked off. We kind of put together our own little roadmaps and where we'd like to see it go. So we're going to do something similar with Star Wars. So we're going to have that episode coming out too. So stay tuned. We're still dropping some fire episodes, 3 years and running. Oh, let's get into, also, by the way, 20K on TikTok. Shout out JD, shout out the pod. Pretty big there. So we're going to try to capitalize on that. Okay, so, if you want to pay us to be on the show, I guess that's fine, whatever, we'll take applications. Yeah, and shout out to you guys for helping us get to that point, so pretty cool milestone. All right, let's get into it. Ironheart Season 1. I'm going to remind folks out there because if I'm being fully honest, yes, it did end a while ago, so I'll give you a quick recap on what exactly happened in Season 1, and then we'll kind of give our thoughts on the major key events. This is a powerful magical cloak, challenging Riri's reliance on technology and forcing her to confront the world of magic. Driven by personal ambition and haunted by the deaths of her best friend and stepfather, Riri pushes the boundaries of technology by developing her own Iron Man-style suit. She creates an AI based on her deceased friend Natalie to assist her. As Riri's involvement with the Hood escalates, she discovers the source of his power, the demonic entity, the long-awaited appearance of Mephisto. We've been waiting about 7 years for that one, and he finally came and granted Parker Robbins this cloak. His betrayals, Riri ultimately confronts and defeats the Hood, stripping him of his power. In a surprising turn, Mephisto then appears to Riri, offering her a deal to bring back her deceased friend Natalie for good. And the season ends with Riri seemingly accepting this offer, hinting at a darker path and significant consequences in the future. So real quick, JD, again, we weren't like lining up to see this as soon as it dropped. I think you may have tried it out first and kind of told us, this isn't bad. Check it out. And we all kind of tuned into it. So overall thoughts, what do you think of this season?
Ironheart was kind of a pleasant surprise, yeah. I'm looking at the Disney Plus list right now, and it's got to be a top fiver, which Disney Plus MCU isn't exactly full of bangers, but, WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Daredevil Born Again, and then Ironheart maybe. I would put it like maybe 5th place there. So I liked it. I liked how weird and different it felt. It did feel very different. This kind of ground level use of the tech. I loved how they made the tech seem so, like, just because she built a suit, she doesn't function like Iron Man because she doesn't have any money. So that was written well. It was a struggle for her to keep that thing on, The name drops like Dormammu was exciting. Seeing Mephisto was exciting. I'm excited to dig more into that. Parker Robbins, I thought the Hood was actually really solid for a villain. I liked him a lot.
Yeah. I
really loved episode 3. It has such a tense feeling, edge of your seat, like throughout that episode. Zeke Stain, it was pretty cool. I like him, but I kind of just like seeing the lineage of Obadiah there. I thought that was fun. So overall, pretty damn solid, yeah.
Straight up. Yeah, I can say I genuinely enjoyed it. And again, I really didn't expect to. And there were definitely some corny aspects to this. Don't get me wrong. This wasn't a perfect show for me. The whole little gang that Parker Robbins had was pretty tough to watch at points. I'm just super goofy, corny, just not believable. Like, yeah, that feels like a cartoon.
The Disney ghetto just doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah, a lot of those aspects, it felt goofy. Some of the writing there wasn't great. But overall, it was entertaining. I think, oh no. I'm sorry. I mean, Anthony Ramos did great as Parker Robbins. He was pretty charismatic. He's been in a lot of other small roles I've seen him in, and he's been okay. He's been Transformer: Rise of the Beast, I believe. But he was good in this. He came off as a creepy, evil, somewhat trusting at the start kind of character. It worked well. And then, oh gosh, Dominique Thorne. She did solid as Riri Williams. And her best friend, Natalie, I forget who played her, but she was really good. By the end of it, I didn't know how I was feeling about that whole AI thing, but by the end of it, it was working for me. So I thought that was a cool aspect to it too. Very cool tie-in with Obadiah Stane and the original Iron Man, even though half of the Iron Man references were somewhat insulting, but other references to, his storyline there with Obadiah Stane and his son, played by young Han Solo. It worked for me. His powers at the end was, again, a little goofy. It was whatever, but overall, I liked his character. So one thing I wanted to ask you about, what did you think, how did you like the AI use in this? So very different type of use of AI here. We're used to Jarvis, and then Friday, of course, but we get Natalie here, a real just full-on person popping up as a projection, but it looks like an actual, the actress is on set with Riri. So how do you like this AI setup?
That's one of my biggest flaws of the show, actually. I couldn't buy into them developing a real relationship with Riri, repeating it over and over. You're a series of codes, like you're not real. Yet, by the end of this, she literally makes a deal with the devil to save this this virtual friend. So I couldn't buy into any of it, dude. So, and then it was just kind of annoying at first. Yeah, it was less annoying as it goes, and it was obviously a very important part of her arc. So at first, it threw me off a ton, right? And I didn't love it throughout, but it is what it is, man.
Straight up.
It's tough to get on Riri's side throughout this whole thing. Like, you can't really root for her all the time. You do root for her, but then she's out there making bad decisions and then making a deal with the devil to save a friend that's already died. Like, there's so many questions there, and I don't see any projects coming up where any of this is going to bleed into.
That's the thing. I don't really care if they follow up with this. Like, by the end of it, I enjoyed the story, but like, she makes a deal with Mephisto, and that's a major implication because now, which kind of sucks, we're back to the MCU just being able to revive killed off characters. But like, I don't really care if I see this through and I see Nat brought back in real life as a person, even if, again, that's used as kind of a stepping stone to get to other characters being revived in classic comic book fashion. But no, I will say the first episode, maybe the first 2 episodes, it felt like a Disney movie, like the Disney movies we grew up on in the 2000s, like Smart House and other stuff like that, where it felt like a Disney type movie with the real just best friend standing there as her AI. But I actually, by the end of it, I actually didn't mind it at all, and I thought it felt emotional at points, which surprised the hell out of me with the AI there. But they wrote it pretty well, and some of the flashbacks Riri had with her it wasn't her dad, I think it was her stepdad,
yeah,
getting killed. The emotion was there though. It was good acting by Dominique, and the writing wasn't bad for it. So it packed more punch than I was expecting there. But overall, I think the AI was kind of split among the community. I don't think a lot of people liked it on social media.
Yeah. Another thing, since she was struggling so much financially, why didn't she call Shuri? Like, why was Wakanda not... I totally expected a cameo from at least, like, a Nakoya or something like that.
Same.
Or Everett Ross. Yeah, I expected more Wakanda Forever to kind of bleed into this.
Yeah.
Not even a gripe there, really. The gripe is she didn't contact Shuri, though. Like, I'm sure Shuri would be more than happy to hook her up. I mean, Ironheart, Riri basically put her life on the line to help them, right? Well, they were kind of helping her help them. But, She fought with them, and they're super rich, and they like armor, so they'd probably hook her up.
And they keep hooking up every character who has ever visited them or dealt with them with stuff. Bucky got stuff, Sam got stuff, everybody coming back with vibranium in their suits, so you'd think that she would have been able to keep her suit, which apparently Wakanda didn't let her take, I think was what they wrote in or something, because it had vibranium, and she wasn't allowed to take it home, or I don't remember what the explanation was. But she had to build her own thing. She mentioned something about Shuri, I think, but I don't think she gave a good explanation as to why there was no contact there.
Yeah.
And that was a weak point for me, was seeing that the suit was running off of, like, somebody said something like, I think it was Zeke. I think Zeke said something like, oh, no arc reactor in the suit or something like this. And she said they really don't hand those out. Mine is solar and wind power. And it showed it like hanging up on like a clothesline with like little fans blowing in the, and I was just like, okay, that doesn't, the power we see emitted out of this suit, the little plastic windmills aren't really, I'm not buying that. So that was a little goofy. But overall, I like the suit better than in Wakanda Forever. What did you think of the suit in the show?
Yeah, way less Power Ranger-y looking, way less plastic looking. None of the suits looked good in Wakanda Forever. Like, not a single one. And especially the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, it was
They
goofy.
looked plastic and strange and just not Iron Man 1 where it's like mechanical where you could like buy into it.
Right. Which is odd that the show had a more realistic looking suit than the movie. Like, I guess they went too over the top in the movie, or I don't know. But yeah, I felt like the show looked better and more believable.
It did.
As far as suits go. Let's see, what else do we got? So coming out of this, obviously we got Mephisto. Big addition into the MCU now. We've had so much hype leading up to this, whether it was WandaVision with Mephisto showing up or what other projects people kept theorizing it. We finally got him. Sacha Baron Cohen plays him, who is Borat, among other roles, the dictator, a lot of goofy comedy roles. But I really enjoyed the vibe of him here. It landed for me. He had really good conversations with Parker and Riri. In the finale, he had a really good conversation. I was loving the dialogue with all the Mephisto stuff, and I just feel like he nailed that vibe, and I'm very curious to see him coming in the MCU. What'd you think about Mephisto's entrance here?
Everything you said, yeah, I felt the same. I thought he delivered that sinister yet charismatic thing that the devil should portray really well, man. Coming out of Borat like a champ with some range. Yeah. That's the one story that I'm going to be kind of disappointed if we don't get any follow through, whereas all the other stuff, I'm good with it. I mean, didn't we get a name drop of Mephisto and Agatha all along? I'm pretty sure they said his name.
I only watched like one episode, so okay. I'm not sure.
So, well, that just gives me this thinking that like maybe Mephisto is, because we theorized it for WandaVision. Very well might have been in the background there. Theorized it for Agatha all along, and they ended up saying his name, I'm pretty sure. So then it's like, does Ironheart end up connecting to Vision Quest? You gotta wonder. Especially not only Mephisto, but the AI stuff, a lot of technology stuff.
Yeah.
But the devil seems like a really big bad villain, man. So it's like, I don't know what you do. Are you setting him up for only series, a big bad for only MCU Disney Plus series? Are you setting him up for a big bad post Secret Wars? You know, I don't know.
Right. And again, the implication that comes with him of being able to revive people. And you mentioned Vision Quest. Well, another strong theory is like, okay, is Mephisto bringing back Wanda? Because maybe Wanda did die in Multiverse of Madness, even though all of us are like, she's obviously coming back. Maybe they write it that she did, and Mephisto brings her back into the picture. Through that connection, there's the whole Darkhold aspect of everything that's still out there with Mephisto. So you got to wonder how connected he is to all these different, evils out there and magical powers. And we got mention of it a lot, like you said. They mentioned Dormammu. What was it exactly? They mentioned Caecilius.
Oh yeah,
they mentioned him and his facial scars, how they were similar to what Parker was going through, and he tried to unleash Dormammu. So we got a lot of cool connections with it. I thought the show did a good job at that. They didn't beat us over the head with stuff, but there were some solid MCU connections and callbacks that we got in this series that was like, it had that fun MCU feel to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you had the Dark Dimension. Riri, she taps into the Dark Dimension with her new suit. And this is what wipes out AI Natasha. And we finally get this combination of Mephisto and the dark magic and all that with technology, which was one of the selling points of this whole promotion leading into the season. It was technology and magic are going to clash. What did you think about that whole suit being used with magic combo? Because we haven't really seen that much at all.
I liked it. It. It's not like we really saw how it didn't seem to have a huge effect on her battling. Anyway, but then obviously it just screams Doctor Doom, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to be directly related to the character, but I mean, that's just right on the head, Doctor Doom, blending sorcery and technology. So you wonder, are they getting us used to that, comfortable with that idea to evolve into something bigger later? I just had Doctor Doom in my mind the whole time as she's mixing the magic and tech. So that's just exciting for me.
Yeah. I was wondering if you were going to bring that up because I was thinking that too. It's at the end of episode 5, the second to last episode of the season, where she creates the suit from her car, which that part was kind of like, wow, that was a bit goofy. How did she just turn her car straight? Whatever. But the suit ended up looking cool at the end of it. I just thought that the way they did it. But yeah, so she taps into the dark dimension at the end of this episode. And then in the finale, we get this face-off between her and this suit against Parker. And I gotta say,
that was cool. That was
okay.
Cool.
I thought that was sick.
That was
the
sick.
CGI looked really good for this. The hood's turning demonic at points, and it's like it reminded me of the Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman, where the werewolf and Dracula are just going at it, these massive monsters. But like, it came off like. They looked good. It didn't look goofy CGI. It was like, oh, that's creepy and demonic for sure. Like it worked really well. You had the rage going on. The sound design worked. I thought they did a great job at that finale fight.
And the trick, that's where the magic came in to really work well. So that erases what I said. But that trick at the end, her on her knees, was just a hologram, and then she knocks him right out. Really cool trick. I thought I liked that a lot.
See, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot how she kind of got the upper hand on him there. But it was just a lot of the times, obviously, we had Secret Invasion with its finale face-off with, the ultimate Khaleesi scroll powers against the other Super Scroll, and they just had this CGI fight. We don't even mention She-Hulk's finale fight, but a lot of the finale fights in the MCU series have been underwhelming, I'd say. Even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I really liked that series. The finale fight and showdown wasn't great for me. So I was surprised to get a solid one out of this.
Yeah. 100%. So Parker Robbins, like you said, he was actually scary, right? Wasn't he? When he got demonic and the sounds they were using, he was actually pretty terrifying. And I liked that they teased more of him at the end. He could bleed in anywhere. He could totally pop up anywhere. But still, I don't see any of them coming up in Secret Wars. Obviously, Spider-Man. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I want to.
I see it as something like 8 projects down the road, all of a sudden a couple of these characters pop up and it maybe continues in a small little subplot of a show or a movie. I don't know which one. But you got to imagine... I want Parker Robbins to come back, which is great because coming into this series, I didn't care if Parker Robbins was brought into the MCU. But after seeing it, I'm like, oh, dude, give me a little bit more of that. Yeah, no, he killed the role. And they really did well with again, maybe a tiny bit corny scenes here and there. But overall, I bought into his conflict throughout the series and him losing John, his best friend, and all that stuff. He sold it pretty well. But yeah.
There's another Doctor Doom connection loosely because in the comics after Secret Wars, when his face turns good and healthy again, that comes with like him trying to become a hero again. Going against him, not believing he's turning good, primarily is Riri Williams. And it was like her introduction to comics involved with Doctor Doom becoming good. And you have this weird face. And the Hood was kind of the main villain throughout that whole thing, too. The Hood's the one that destroyed Doctor Doom's face again, turning him back into the normal Doctor Doom. That was totally the Hood. That also revolved around Tony Stark being dead. So there's a lot of MCU stuff that's probably not connected, but sounds very connected. The Hood, Doctor Doom going good. We have this weird face thing going on with RDJ. And then... yeah, we have the magic blend stuff. Tony Stark is dead. So many weird connecting things there in this one era of comics.
Ah, that's wild. And again, it feels like they did a really good job at connecting stuff like that. Not even just the MCU, but apparently comics too. Like they fit in a lot of stuff pretty well in this. And in another edition, which we had that sorcerer girl that Riri runs into, and we get this connection with Kamartaj and her entire, like, I think she's about to go to school there or train there or something.
The shop lady.
Yeah. And it's her daughter, and she's getting into this. I think she's the one who brought up Caecilius maybe too. But she has this line about how there isn't bad technology. It's just about the user. But there is bad magic.
Yeah.
No matter the user, and it's dark and it's dangerous. And it was like, oh, that was, again, they killed it with the whole mixing of technology and magic. Like the writing was
like the mythology
surprising.
Of it.
Yeah, like they wrote it very well for a show like Ironheart where nobody was caring about it. They sure put a heck of a lot of detail and attention, like yeah.
There's another comic connection. So we're coming into Brand New Day. And obviously in the comics right before that, Spider-Man made a deal with Mephisto to save Aunt May and like killing his marriage with Mary Jane, like on the spot. pretty sad, emotional. Like, she's like, do it. And he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just do it.
It was brutal.
And then boom, he's not married anymore.
Yeah.
So obviously he made a deal with Doctor Strange to forget the identity, and that's where we're headed to Brand New Day. So Mephisto has nothing to do with that, but just the fact that you have Mephisto, another hero, making a deal with him to save someone close to them, even though, so that's also another really weird thing that lines up right before Brand New Day. Even though Spider-Man already had that done, Mephisto is still doing that with somebody else. It's interesting.
Well, and that it makes me ask you, do you think with the Brand New Day movie coming up here, do you think there's any possibility we get like a post-credit of Mephisto visiting Peter and offering May to be resurrected? Do you think we get a tease of that in a post-credit or something like that? Because we could get this whole street-level thing with Peter and Brand New Day, but at the end of it, he thinks he's found peace, and Mephisto visits him and brings him this offer to bring May back. And maybe now he goes into Doomsday kind of in a mental crisis.
See?
I feel like, do you think they might use Mephisto in that movie?
Well, that's another parallel. May's dead in this too, and that's why he ever made a deal with Mephisto in the first place. So he's going to be in a dark place and lonely in this movie, I think. He's going to be very lonely. I could totally see that, dude. I could totally see that. Because, what else are they bringing Mephisto in for? If not that, maybe he is a big player in Doomsday Secret Wars.
What if he's only used in, like, post-credits going forward? But he's the new Nick Fury of post-credit scenes, but he's setting up all of this temptation and stuff after all these and, like, setting up this darkness. Because, dude, as you mentioned with Riri, she kind of did a couple of not great decisions in the show. Right. Not only that, but dark decisions. She let John die, which is the first time we've really seen MCU heroes, their origin, just be like, yeah, I'm going to let this fool die. Like, maybe not first time, but it's not the common thing. Right. They rise above it in their first show, and she just straight let that dude die. And then she was ready to kill in the end, and now it looks like she's taking the deal with Mephisto. So she had a bit of a dark path here. But yeah, what if they use Mephisto in that, just a post-credit tool going forward?
I could see that. You could always have him control a portion of Doom's world, or whatever they call that. Battle world. Everyone has their own sections. Like, what's her name had her own section in Deadpool and Wolverine. Mephisto could very well be in Battle World, his own set of, playing by his own rules, doing something. But I love that Spider-Man thing with Aunt May being dead. So you never know.
That'd be crazy. I think that'd be a solid way to kind of play into that. And then, so Ezekiel Stone, I thought he was a cool character. They gave him these weird kind of cyborg upgrade powers, and I guess now he's a super-powered individual. I don't really know what the upgrade was. He's kind of like Electro, I guess, a different type of Electro. But I didn't think it was that cool. I don't know what you thought of it.
It's Zeke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's pretty comic accurate to this Matt Fraction comic, but instead of electric powers, it was more of like energy beams coming out of his fingers and such. It was interesting. It's pretty cool in the comics, but it felt goofy here. But for some reason, I really like the actor, and I kind of still liked watching them throw down a little bit, even though it was kind of corny.
Well, he's got his delivery of all of his banter. Alden Ehrenreich, who, again, Solo gets a lot of crap, but he did have that rebel pain in the ass like vibe to him in the Solo movie as a Han Solo. I believe that he was a young punk Han Solo, and he's got that same kind of, again, charismatic but funny, self-deprecating humor, kind of sarcasm, just dry lines that he throws out. I don't know. Yeah, I like his vibe too. I like him even in Oppenheimer, totally different role, but he had lines like that where he was dropping it on RDJ's behalf, kind of like backhanded comments. I like all the roles he plays in. There's something about him.
Yeah.
Alden, I think it was Alden Ehrenreich. Is that right? Yeah. So he's in the MCU, so that's cool.
They did a lot here. They did a ton in this show.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy.
In a way that didn't feel like they just jammed a ton of stuff like as much as possible. Like it felt like it fit.
Yeah, like fun MCU style.
Yeah. So outside of the, I don't know, like you said, I don't know what we're going to expect coming out of this. I'm not looking for a continuation on Natalie's story or on a lot of that. The whole group of Parker Robbins, the clown chick and all the whatever. Oh God, it was so corny. So couldn't stand that. I don't. And I think in the finale, they were totally out of the episode, which was kind of nice. I don't think they brought them back at all. And I thought they were gonna, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall it was a pretty fun series, and it had a lot of interesting stuff. So I don't know where I would rank it. I didn't give it a rating. I think if I had to give it one, I don't know, it'd probably be a high sevens.
High sevens,
which is way higher than I was expecting it to be. But yeah,
right.
Yeah, probably a high 7.
Well, the last thing I got, though, is you kind of have to continue Riri's story after she made a deal with the devil. So now it's like, you
Right.
have to, but where do you do that? Vision Quest is the most probable, unless this is, like you said, just building seeds for way down the line. But yeah, so that's weird because Secret Wars is such a reboot that just like, now do they want to plant seeds pre-Secret Wars, even though that's a reboot? So it's so weird, man. But it's exciting, but weird, and I don't feel like we're going to get closure on some of this stuff, at least for a long time.
Right. No, I totally feel skeptical. I mean, we don't get closure on a lot of stuff I do want closure on and stuff, which the MCU slipped on a lot of stuff with the Eternals and other things of that nature. So yeah, I doubt we get it here. But yeah, you just have to wonder, making a deal with the devil at the end of a series like that and capitalizing on that and bringing somebody back from the dead, you can't just leave that there. So it's gonna be continued somewhere else. I don't know where. I don't know. Again, Armor Wars is a project. Is that still happening?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Isn't it canceled?
That's the thing.
I don't know.
I can't keep up with it anymore because that's something I could see that popping up and Riri would be around, 100%. You know. Armor Wars upcoming.
Well, ChatGPT says yes, but it's still in limbo.
Yeah, and I'm saying started as a Disney Plus series. Now it's supposed to be a movie, but
oh, yeah, I've heard that too.
They don't know. Upcoming superhero film. That's all we got. So who knows?
That would 100% be the project. At least Riri's story would continue.
Do you think there's any chance anything like this pops up in Blade as far as Mephisto or Parker Robbins goes, if Blade ever happens?
Well, Mephisto definitely belongs in Blade. Parker Robbins fits right in there too. Dude, that would be such an epic thing if he upgrades somehow and he's the main villain of Blade. Dude, because I couldn't name a single Blade villain.
No, Dracula.
Like Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah, then that's pretty much it, which is kind of cheating.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool too. I don't know. But solid though, I gotta say, pretty good run the MCU is having right now. Brave New World wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad.
Still liked it, yeah.
Yeah, still enjoyed it. We got Thunderbolts, which I really can't wait. I don't know when that's going to be on Disney Plus, but I'm so ready to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed it, man.
I fell asleep. I put it on 123movies.com, but I didn't get to Century breaking out. Yeah, it's pretty good. I was starting to feel like it's a little overrated. Just the first half, just a little bit, just a little bit. I think it was just we were desperate for decent MCU stuff that it was good. Right. But then it kind of felt really good because it was so much above the quality of what the recent MCU has been delivering.
Right. No, that's fair. And that's why I want to watch it again. I'm very curious. I don't know if my score is going to go up or down, but you can hold off on the 1, 2, 3. It drops in 9 days, August 27th on Disney Plus. So that's sick. I'm definitely watching that soon. But yeah. And then Fantastic Four. And the MCU with another positive project. So
Born Again, Daredevil.
Yeah, sorry.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Man. Daredevil and Deadpool. We're on a good streak here with the MCU.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Do you have any other thoughts on the Ironheart series or any speculations coming out of it that we haven't touched on?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I think that's all I've got as well. This was a nice little recap on the Ironheart series, and we did not plan on covering it, so the fact that it got its own episode shows you that we were delightfully surprised with how the series went. So if you haven't watched it and you were just like, I'll just listen to this episode, I ain't gonna watch it anyways, we'll see what they have to say. Sorry for the spoilers, but maybe go watch it. Check it out. It might be better than you expected. But that'll do it for us here. Thank you, JD, for joining me here tonight and covering this series. Thank you to our audience and listeners out there for joining us, and we will see you next time on Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast.